Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Okay, we're doing it live.
We will do it live. Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Tonight on Stumbling Down History Road, we're going to be talking about the Evil Dead, the franchise, the video games, the comic book, a little bit of it all, pretty much, the history. I'm Jackson.
I'm Charlie.
I'm D.
All right. So, before we get into this, I do want to do a little unboxing.
Oh no.
Because that's hot with the kids these days.
Your mom's hot with the kids these days.
I got here a big old box of shirts for all the guests that have been a guest on the first year. At least pretty much all the guests. I spoke to a lot of people, and I hit almost everybody. But yeah,
If you didn't,
I want to see what they look like for the first time on camera. So,
hit us up. You know who you are. Oh, cool. They're colored.
I think they prefer the term of pigmented at this point.
I was about to say.
This actually looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a 3X.
This is a 3X also. No.
Charlie, you're a 2.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm a 2. So they come in like that tanny orange and light blue.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure this will bring out my eyes.
Thank you. And let's see if I can find one for me before I start putting everything away. These are cool. I like these.
Nifty.
Yeah, it's got like I like the character designs.
Yeah, the initial one was a little bit reversed, where I told him flip the glasses and kind of the.
Hold on, I'm gonna go up closer with the camera.
Yeah, I kind of told him to like flip the characters because I was the one who smokes. He's the one who mostly drinks. So glasses, not glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just 2 shirts.
2 shirt style.
Yeah,
how
I
much-
am now rocking a pink shirt.
Does it come up with pink on the camera?
No.
Then
But I'm now rocking a pink shirt. So, The Evil Dead.
oh, okay, I'll jump right back in then.
How do we want to start this?
But I mean, it was a movie franchise.
It sure is a movie franchise, along with a bunch of other things. There's a Commodore 64 game with The Evil Dead, for God's sakes.
Isn't Chris Chan the goddess of that? The Commodore 64?
We don't talk about that. All right? So, The Evil Dead, since it's Spoopy month,
Spoopy.
let's talk about Spoopy. Realistically, the only ones that are actually like full-on horror would be, from what I heard, the latest one, Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead from 2013, which is a soft reboot,
Yes.
and then The Evil Dead back in 1981 is like true horror still, whereas The Evil Dead 2, kind of a soft reboot as well, loosely,
Yeah,
but
it was
not.
weird.
Yeah.
That one has more comedic elements in it,
Yes.
but it's not a comedy.
No.
Number 3 in the series, The Army of Darkness, is a comedy with horror elements, whereas Evil Dead 2 is a horror with comedic elements.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Think of it like going from Silence of the Lambs to epic movie.
That's a real fucking stretch there.
They made it work.
I was thinking more because epic movies just fuck. That's like, no, I was thinking more because epic movie fucking sucked. So if you're gonna compare like,
Sure, Scary Movie 1.
that's better.
Yeah.
It's like going from
Scream 1. It was
Scream wasn't a horror. I mean, it wasn't a comedy film.
so it went from Silence of the Lambs to Scream to Scary Movie 1.
Okay, that's a bit better. I mean,
Scream had some comedic elements. It was very meta. Very
Yes,
meta.
Very meta.
This was before meta was a meta.
they
But-
outmeta the meta.
Little known fact about this: there's technically a prequel movie in a short film. Did you know about that?
If I believe it was the thing they used to sell the movie to producers, right?
Kind of. They wanted to do like a proof of concept type of a thing with a short film, and it worked basically. It was Within the Woods.
Yeah.
This, by the way, is directed, mostly written, and
Sam
executive
Raimi.
produced by Sam Raimi. Bruce Campbell is involved. Roger Tippett's involved. There's
You
a
might
couple
know
other
Sam Raimi from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Rip Tappert. Sorry.
Sorry, just
yeah.
saying.
The Spider-Man Tobey Maguire's, showing you Elizabeth Olsen's feet.
Hey.
There's a couple different things.
Fun
That,
fact: she has sex with Thanos.
yes. Yeah.
Old
that,
boy.
That does technically, canonically happen in Old Boy.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch and Thanos had an affair. Think about that.
I think it was more like Wincest, but that's besides the point.
She has nice boobies, though.
That's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Evil Dead.
I liked her boobies.
So Sam Raimi ended up basically getting his major motion picture start with The Evil Dead. Before that, he had done a couple like feature films, but most of it was like college level bullshit. Nothing really super major that hit off. This was the thing that was like, oh, let's give this guy some actual shit. This led to obviously Evil Dead 2. It led to Darkman. It led to all sorts of fucking fun shit with him.
I forgot about Darkman.
Yeah. Army of Darkness led to. You good there, bud?
Just coughing.
Army of Darkness led to. Led into Spider-Man. All sorts of fun shit. Like, it truly did start so many careers.
So, just for people who don't know, if I'm thinking of Darkman, that's the one with Liam Neeson, right? Where he has the changes his face or something like that.
You can't see me.
I think that's the right one. Is that the one?
It's got John Cena, yeah.
What?
Yeah, John Cena. You can't see him. Darkman.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Fighter of the day, man. Ah! Call back to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But why is The Evil Dead a horror movie? Talk to me about the elements a little bit. Talk to me about like the initial reception and all sorts of silliness.
I'm sorry. The third Darkman movie is called Darkman 3 Die, Darkman Die.
Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die.
That's a good fucking song. I don't want
So, Evil Dead.
to.
Why it's a horror movie?
Yeah, what makes it actually considered a horror movie? Because, like I said,
Are we just going to kind of go into what makes a horror movie again?
No. I mean, I want to talk about like the elements of this one in particular. Like, we have the Necronomicon, which ends up causing like a possession and demonic forces effectively, and he's facing what ends up turning into what are called deadites,
Yeah.
which are kind of like zombies, possessed people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the suspense of finding the Necronomicon. That's a hard word for me.
Necronomicon. Necronom.
The Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
It's an ancient Sumerian text about how to do rituals of
Written in
the
blood.
dead.
Written
Yes.
in blood.
Bound by leather.
Human leather.
flesh.
And you can't destroy it, I think, if memory serves.
Yeah, there's some things that go on between them. And it ends up later being called the Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
That's just adding.
It's
That-
just a Necronomicon with extra steps.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like calling it like Oh God, what's something that's like redundantly stupid like that? Oh man.
The ATM machine,
Yes.
your PIN number.
Oh. Yep.
That's a personal call out to some people out there. But yeah, Evil Dead. It was shot on basically like the shoestring fucking budget. They were begging people in order to actually try and fund this. They had the Within the Woods, as stated. to do like this proof of concept type of a thing, a little short film.
So they basically did the same thing almost like the what's his name did with Terminator.
Kind of.
Weird how like a lot of these influential films are like that.
Well, I don't know if I'd call this influential so much as like a cult following, because in terms of box office grossing, it only now has like $2.4 million, which is paltry by any normal standards until you look at worldwide gross and things like that, because there's like $30 million worldwide. Just international, and then total, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
nuts. So it was such a cult following for the Evil Dead, and then Evil Dead 2 took off even more, and Army of Darkness is, the spoofy thing.
I mean,
I want to say that this is probably like the most popular, most common, most quoted B horror movie.
Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Evil Dead series.
Yeah, probably. It's
Other than maybe
Just, like,
Sharknado.
Just that one line when he goes, "I am this, and this is my boomstick."
this
Hail to the king.
is my
That's
boomstick.
another one. Hail to the king.
Yeah. Give me some
Got
sugar,
it
baby.
at S-Mart.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Shop smart.
Shop
Shop
S
S
smart.
smart. Oh my god. Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun. So many good lines.
Groovy. Probably.
Which all happens in Army of Darkness. It is such a quotable
No,
movie.
Groovy was the second movie.
Yes, but it didn't really like take off in popularity for Ash in that. Which we should talk about. Bruce Campbell.
Ash Williams.
He is the actor's actor,
Yeah.
He will
Actor's actor.
He is so fucking game for anything that is dumb. Honestly. They like beat the shit out of this guy on filming. And they grew up together making short films. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell were
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good
Huh.
friends.
Yeah.
I didn't know
They were
that.
fantastic friends. I don't know how they're still friends, but they are fantastic friends.
He almost got him killed, I think.
Numerous times.
Like
Numerous
the
times.
blind lady swinging at him with a knife in the one film.
Yeah, numerous times.
Because she had contacts in that made her couldn't see shit.
Yes, so in Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, for the whited out eyes before they had like good contacts that you can, find nowadays where it's like, oh, hey, look, let's just make, fucking Sharingan contacts or stupid shit like that, right? They had to do like glass on glass on glass in order to make it white out the eyes, and it was like insane. So they were basically blind.
Apparently Cheech Moran was a real crybaby about the contacts in From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, he would bitch about them every morning.
I could see that.
Still did a good show, though. Good movie.
Yeah, I mean, From Dusk Till Dawn. Not Sam Raimi.
No, that's Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
And then
Which they should. I want to see them collab.
Raimi and Rodriguez?
Yeah.
That'd actually be an interesting collab. I wonder if they have already or not.
And then you throw Tarantino into the mix too, so this way you have more
He's
feet.
just gonna fucking be there. You know what? I gotta salute Tarantino. He saw the script, and he's like, you know what? There needs to be a moment where, like,
Selma Hayek puts her foot in my mouth.
he fucking wrote himself getting Selma Hayek's foot shoved in his mouth.
I
That guy's got
watched
that
that show the
fucking
other
dog
day.
in him.
I watched that movie the other day.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Such a good,
Good
film.
movie.
Such a good film.
Oh man,
The
I,
first one, 100%.
Oh,
the
yeah.
other two, no.
They don't exist.
I fucking love Cheech when he's doing the bar shouting, "Pussy, pussy, pussy, come on in, pussy lovers."
Another fantastic movie. We'll try and get something going for that.
It'll
at
probably
some point.
end up in somewhere in our fucking vampire episode.
Yeah, probably.
Oh wait, not to spoil it though.
At some point we will be doing.
If you haven't
spoopies.
seen if you haven't seen From Dusk Till Dawn without knowing what it's about, like go see it first without knowing what it's about because it twists like halfway through and you're just like,
This
oh.
is M. Night Shyamalan before M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
It does twist halfway through.
But Sam Raimi, he grew up in a little itty bitty Minnesota town. Minnesota, Michigan?
Minnesota.
I don't remember. One of those M states. You know who the fuck you are. Literally the same town as Bruce Campbell. And the
Michigan.
And the only reason why they were the him, Ray Tappert, What did I say earlier?
Ray Tappert?
Yeah, Ray Tappert. The only reason why Sam Raimi and Ray Tappert were behind the scenes on camera work was because Bruce was the pretty one. Yeah. But it's so low budget. They end up going to a little itty bitty town in Tennessee. It was supposed to be shot during the summer in Michigan, and then, that shit fell through. So they end up going to winter Tennessee, a little cabin in the woods, which is where we get a lot of cabin in the woods tropes, pretty much. I mean, literally, Cabin in the Woods movie is heavily inspired and pays a lot of homage to this. Sam Raimi does a lot of homage in his later stuff with like Drag Me to Hell and Darkman.
A lot of sorry.
His
A lot of
style
weird
is
minor
very
celebrities
stylistic.
From that town.
What's up?
Sorry, a lot of weird minor celebrities from Royal Oak, Michigan.
Yeah. Like I said, they were all like friends. Ted Raimi, his brother,
Spooderman.
Ted Raimi, his brother, ended up being like, I don't know, 9 different roles in the fucking films throughout all of them.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, when you're low budget,
You're low budget.
we are low budget,
Yeah, we have a budget.
but it's silly, honestly. It's just this cabin in the woods thing with Bruce Campbell not getting possessed and fucked over. Well, he gets fucked over, but
He
not getting
loses his hand in the
possessed.
second one.
Spoilers.
Then he replaces it with a
Yeah, there's only-
If you've seen a chainsaw for a hand, that's coming from Evil Dead. So I don't
Yeah.
want. Yeah, and a lot. That's from a lot of things, and I don't know why you said, "Oh, it's not influential." When,
I didn't say that it wasn't influential.
It's more of a,
I said that it was
Cult
influential.
but it's definitely more of a cult.
Oh, yeah. It's a cult following, not a big budget is what I meant.
I mean, it influenced like the shit out of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Which, if you actually pay attention to how, like, if you pay attention to the subtext of Chainsaw Man,
It is literally just Sam Raimi's Evil Dead.
no, okay, it's implied. No, ready? If you pay attention to the subtext further, if it's implied that the movies exist in that universe and they're the reasons why, they're part of the reasons why the Chainsaw Devil has power over other devils.
So, Evil Dead. It utilizes a lot of like high-end techniques for what low budget it is.
Like claymation and stop motion.
Claymation and stop motion isn't like super high-end stuff because that is relatively budget friendly to
Yeah,
stop
right.
motion.
Get the hand going.
I'm talking about how they basically built like rudimentary gimbals and shit like that in order to get different framings of like running shots and shit like this. He would build frames on himself and run through the woods with shit in order to get the scene of like wind going through the forest and shit like that. That was him literally running with a camera strapped to his fucking chest going, ah!
Yeah, what? I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
There was gallons of the red food coloring and corn syrup.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
heard that probably had one of the highest uses of it.
Yeah, the first one, and then the second one topped off a little bit.
I think the only thing that beat that later on was The Shining. I think.
I think Shining was before that.
I think that's the only one that's beaten it so far because it just had that big elevator crash sequence.
Evil Dead coming out.
Well, nowadays there is a couple that beat it since
yeah.
then, but during it held the record for a while. But it was produced with the the Film Association of Tennessee's like blessings and things like that. That's how they were able to find a cabin in the woods in Tennessee. They set up a little time capsule as like a little momentous thing in the fireplace. The cabin has since been destroyed. They later do, for Evil Dead 2, the filming in Kentucky or Kansas.
Apparently now it's the newest Evil Dead has the claim for most fake blood.
Evil Dead Rise?
No, the 2013 one.
Okay, so there's The Evil Dead, The Evil Dead 2, what should have been called Medieval Dead. That was a title, but Universal was like, "Yo, fuck you, we don't want that."
Apparently, you want to know how much they used apparently for one single scene in the Evil Dead remake? 55,000
I
gallons.
thought it was It Chapter 1 or 2 with the fucking bathroom scene. I thought that held the record.
Nope, it's apparently the ending scene of the of the Evil Dead remake, which used 55,000 gallons of fake blood for the raining sequence.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Although,
But basically let's talk about this. Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre come out in the late 70s.
Yeah.
The Exorcist comes out in the late 70s. The
Texas
Omen
was
is
earlier than that.
the late 70s. The Omen comes out in the late 70s. A bunch of like random sporadic high quality horror movies come out in the 60s and the 70s. We talked about, this boom again in our previous horror movie episode.
73.
Sure.
Exorcist. Sorry.
Early 70s. Fuck you. And they really do kind of change the way that horror is seen. Between Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw, Halloween, they really influence a whole lot because it was, a lot of Universal monster style things, kind of campy, kind of tropey.
Yeah.
And then you get slashers. Before that, it was like Hitchcock doing Hitchcock things with Psycho. And then he had Birds and Vertigo and, Rear Window, things like that.
Psycho probably had one of the best trailers ever made, though.
I mean, yeah, I'm not denying that. But it brought this to a forefront, and everything was kind of like, all right, well, what are we going to do? John Carpenter wasn't as big as he is because he really got fucking big in the 80s. Let's be real. But he found this little niche. He loved the horror genre, and he grew up watching like vaudeville style comedy with the Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello, things like that. And that's why he ends up getting this huge love for like slapstick style comedy in that style, and you see it carry out through Evil Dead 2 and definitely Army of Darkness.
Even into fucking like the Spider-Man films.
Oh yeah.
Oust me, will you? Dude, the most terrifying thing he's ever come up with was those fucking skeleton bombs, and they only appear once. Those bombs turn you into a skeleton instantly, like just no questions asked. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean,
that's brutal. I mean, the only thing worse than that was the skeleton rays from Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Like they just turn you into a skeleton. We come in peace.
Yeah. Mars Attacks, another campy movie.
You know what? It's one of the 3 like Tim Burton films I actually enjoy.
So, what is the only there's 2 recurring characters, kind of, in this thing.
There's Ash Campbell and Nega Ash.
Well, it's Ash Williams.
Yeah.
But
Ash Williams.
Yeah, sorry. Thinking of I mixed Ash and Bruce Campbell's names.
Who is played by Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Who Psycho Stick, shout out, has an entire song dedicated to. They have an entire Bruce Campbell song.
Dude, there's
and
a
it's
whole
fantastic.
band dedicated to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get on his level.
There's one for Ned Flanders.
Austrian
Death
Death.
It's one person.
Is it just one guy?
I believe so.
Really?
There's one dedicated to Ned Flanders.
Yes,
What's your point?
Yes. Shout out to our metal episode.
Yep.
Let's go.
The Oakley Dokley's.
Re-education.
Other recurring character.
Well, we have Ash, who
Nega
doesn't
Ash.
always appear as Ash in them. He appears as Ash in The Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and Medieval Dead.
And Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Sure, there's a TV show.
That takes place in continuity, so it counts.
Yes. And then in Evil Dead, the 2013 remake, kind of, and Evil Dead Rise, which just released, haven't gotten a chance to see it. Heard good things.
Yeah, so did I. I'm meaning to see
I
it.
haven't gotten a chance to.
I don't want to pay for any more subscriptions. I'm sorry.
Why, what's it on?
It's on HBO Max.
Oh, I have
Just
that.
not Max.
Oh, right. Sorry, Max. I forgot that.
Do you want to borrow my Max?
Nah, that's fine.
Okay.
There he's technically credited as Bruce Campbell cameo.
In the remake, right?
Yes, in the 2013 and the 2023.
Okay.
Did Raimi direct that, or is he just kind of involved in it?
He executive produced that. He executive produced the 2023. He has gone on record recently saying that he wants to try and get more things every couple of years instead of every decade. And the guy
It's
who
only been
did
I could have sworn there was something between the last one and this one, but I guess not.
Ash vs. Evil Dead, which came out from 2015 to 2018.
Yeah, there's a ass whack of comic book crossovers too,
Yes, there's Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash.
There's also Ash.
which I think was how the
Evil
movie was
Dead
supposed to originally
versus
end
Marvel
too.
Zombies.
Evil Dead versus Marvel Zombies, yep.
He does a crossover with DC, a crossover with Aliens and
Yep.
Predator, I think, because we run on the metaverse here.
Yeah, we run on Tommy Weisfeld.
Me, whatever. We'll get into
But-
we'll get into that episode.
Yeah. Gross. But
You'll have fun with it. Just go with it.
I'm just gonna go there and go, oh, this is connected to this, which means that this is connected to this, and this is connected to this.
I mean,
I'm gonna be Charlie with that fucking
Pepe
whiteboard.
Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. It's all Pepe Sylvia. It's
Yup.
Pennsylvania. Damn it, Charlie! Your religiosity doomed us again.
But
Oh, we got fired like 2 weeks ago, but I sent those letters off to like Nebraska somewhere.
shout out to our Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode.
Sorry, it's a good scene.
But technically, I should say that it's only in the Sam Raimi universe that it's a recurring character, other than his family and him.
Wait, so the remake ones don't count?
No, I was thinking that the character is in all of Sam Raimi's films, which is true.
No, Bruce Campbell appears in almost every Sam Raimi film just as a cameo.
Yes, and there's another thing.
Because look at, he was in all 3
Can you-
Spider-Man films.
Can you guess it?
Is it the hand?
No, which we will talk about.
Is it...
It's a character. It's not a person.
Oh, is it the actual Necronomicon itself?
It's the Pontiac Delta.
The car
The car?
itself.
The car.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
He loves that fucking car. The reason he even made Evil Dead 2 was one, because he was pressured by people putting out publicity for promos for the Evil Dead 2, and two, because his parents were giving him shit about a car sitting in the middle of the driveway and he didn't want to sell it because he loved it so much. So it was like, I may as well fix this because I love it. The
So
Delta
he
88.
used it in a movie.
Yeah. So he
It
used
is
it
all
in
three of
movies.
those movies.
It's in all 3 of those. It's in all the Darkmans that he filmed. It's in all of the Spider-Man. It is the car that you have the responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, fuck, it's that car?
It's the Uncle Ben car.
Oh, okay, now I see it. All right, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that car is a character then.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know, great power comes great responsibility, Peter.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah. And Ted Raimi is Ted Raimi, his brother, and they kind of like fuck around a little bit. There's also Ivan Raimi, who plays a couple characters.
I feel like he's been in other stuff, and we know him more from other stuff than in Sam Raimi stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Campbell's dad plays a Deadite in Army of Darkness. You know, so
A lot of
the first 2 basically revolve around the Necronomicon in a cabin in the woods, and Ash is the only one not affected for reasons. In number 1, number 2, he's affected a little bit. That's why he cuts off his evil hand. He turns a little, cookie. You really start to see Ash become a little bit more of that like B campy trope, and like this is where we get fucking shit, silly ass acting in B movies.
no, that goes back before him, but
Sure, but like his facial expressions and the shit that he does in The Evil Dead and Army of Darkness is like, okay, this is why we're watching this, because Bruce Campbell. We're not watching it for an actual plot.
we've watched
Yeah,
some
no.
hokey ass character films on here too.
We sure have.
We found out where that opening line from Dracula is from.
That's
oh my
true.
God, we did find that last. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's true. We did.
You know. Okay. In Dracula at the very beginning, it's like superstition, fear, and jealousy.
No.
Dun 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 dun. The very beginning of Dracula, by Rob Zombie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but the very beginning is like superstition, fear, and that little voice clip. It's
It's
Christopher
a sample.
Lee
Yeah.
from the movie City of the Dead. Apparently,
Yeah.
like the very first few minutes of the film, we're like,
Not
oh,
sponsored
shit,
by
that's
any
where
of those,
that
by the way.
Well, it's a public domain film. How the fuck are they going to sponsor us?
Rob Zombie?
Yeah. Hey, Rob Zombie, come on the podcast. That'd be cool.
I'd love to have you on. You can get a shirt, maybe.
We could talk about the Munsters film that you
It was okay.
made.
It was all right.
It was
I liked
okay.
it.
I
You knew that it wasn't a serious film. That's all I
refuse to
wanna
watch
say.
it.
You knew it wasn't a serious film. That's all I want to say.
I-
Kind of like
Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead.
Oh boy, we're stumbling. So sorry.
Fuck you. Fuck you, you fat bitch. Fight me.
No, because I want to hit a guy with glasses on.
You wouldn't hit the
The
bat
bat
with
with
glasses
glasses
on
on,
now, would you?
Whack! Abracadabra. I'm a bat.
Hocus pocus. I'm a vampire.
Hocus pocus. I'm an umpire.
Looney Tunes. Shout out to
What was that Transylvania 3333 or 35?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like, yeah, that one specific episode. Then they
you
use
know who you are.
Then I think they use like bits of it as a framing device for one of their shitty
Yes.
compilation films.
Yeah.
They use that a few times. It's really fun.
Oh yeah, I mean Looney Tunes does that, especially
Yeah.
when they started going lower budget.
Well, I just don't like the shitty compilation films are just kind of pointless. Especially since they ended in like weird spots, the original shorts and shit too. It's just, I don't know.
So
Sorry.
The Evil Dead has such like graphic horror, and I say it in quotes because like nowadays you can tell that it's just, oh look, clay is falling out of the dude. But back then it was like, what the fuck is going on?
Especially because
I
people
don't know.
were on
That
more
scene
drugs
where
then.
the fucking lady gets stabbed in the ankle with the pencil.
Ooh.
Ash gets stabbed.
Is
It's Ash. He gets stabbed, and Ash actually gets fucking stabbed with a pencil in the ankle by Sam Raimi, who loves to torture Bruce Campbell because he injured his ankle while filming The Evil Dead, and they needed to justify the limp.
Well, they do that.
There's
in
a lot of shit
films.
where in Army of Darkness, when everybody's throwing rocks, they're all fake rocks. They're like wadded up paper and shit, right? Sam Raimi's in the crowd throwing potatoes.
fucking potatoes. I can see that.
Yeah. He loves to fuck with him. There was a scene in Army of Darkness. He's fighting evil Ash, and he ends up cutting himself on the armor that he has a little bit, right? So they take him to the ER where he's all glammed up.
Prosthetic up.
Yeah, all prosthetic up and glammed up and everything. And the ER is like, what the fuck is going on? And then they end up treating him, and the doctor allegedly says, yeah, I knew it was all fake to begin with. I could tell. It's such a, like, hokey, silly fucking series, and I love it.
I did get around to actually watching all the films in full. I've never seen every film in full.
I've seen
every film. I don't necessarily remember the second one, but
it
as
it
well
follows
as I-
along very similar.
The
with-
only thing I remember from the
with the
second
first
film is the fucking tree rape.
Yeah.
Doesn't the second film also have a talking deer head or something like that?
Yeah.
That was a little. Oh yeah, which later comes back. You know where had
That's also a reference in another game.
I was gonna say, you know where I think weirdly referenced that.
Times.
There's like 6 or 7 fucking Evil Dead games. Speaking of, there's
this
one
wasn't
that's
an Evil
on.
Dead game. This was just a reference in another.
Oh yeah,
game.
yeah. I'm just
I
saying,
was
like
gonna
we
mention
didn't.
Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
Was that
Drag Me to Hell is Sam Raimi.
Oh, that's okay. That explains
2008's Drag Me to Hell.
that explains why the fucking goat started talking all weird looking.
Yeah, that has heavy Evil Dead influence. Who'd have thunk?
You know what? If you think about that, it probably possibly could even take place in the same universe too.
Maybe.
Well, Didn't, because Sam Raimi did the,
Spider-Man.
not the Spider-Man, but he was part of,
Well, he did do Spider-Man.
yeah, but
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
And he kind of doesn't, I believe Bruce Campbell makes an appearance.
Yes, he does.
Yep, he's the Pizza Pops
And
guy.
Pizza Pops.
so
Come
it's
get your
like,
Pizza
oh,
Pops.
I'm putting in
Bruce
Evil Dead.
Campbell.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell is
Linking Evil Dead
He's-
with this too.
Bruce Campbell is in every single one of Sam Raimi's films
Yep.
as a cameo or something.
He introduces Spider-Man in the first Spider-Man movie.
Yep, he's
Yeah.
the announcer.
Yeah.
He's in the second.
Bone saws ready.
They got the big fake saws.
Yeah, which I think is a reference to the chainsaws in fucking Evil Dead.
Those were bone saws, not chainsaws.
But are they
They're-
ready?
They are ready. Those bone saws are quite ready to saw.
Why don't you come down here and fight me like a man? Why don't you come up here and fight me like a spider?
Hey, it was supposed to last 3 minutes in the ring. You took him out in a minute and a half or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So he doesn't
You're
give
lucky
him-
I give you anything.
I would have paid him double, but all right, whatever.
Oh man, Sam Raimi. You do some good shit and some silly shit at the same time.
Remember, kids, with great power comes great responsibility.
So
Wait, who have you seen die more? Peter Parker's uncle or fucking Batman's parents?
Movie-wise?
Just in general.
seen more?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I just want to say that the Evil Dead Rise, it had a budget of $19 million and it like 10x'd it. Worldwide, it got 146 million.
Dude, I mean, that's pretty much, I'm just going to say this, pretty much almost any horror films, because horror films are
Oh
notoriously
yeah, yeah.
just
Well, hold on.
easy to
hold
low
on.
budget, massive returns.
$375,000 after everything was said and done between marketing and budgeting, advertisements
one?
for the first one, because it was shot on like about $100,000, and that had a return of, as stated, 2.4 million in America and 29 million worldwide total.
That's not, wait, world box office?
Worldwide, 29 million.
Actually really good, because world box office is almost always like,
It's mid compared to.
well, here's the thing, it's going to be greater than the US, but it's like, it's never going to be like at like more than what you kind of think.
Yeah,
especially if
it's
China gets,
almost never 10x.
especially if China gets involved.
Yeah. And
But,
they loved this shit. You know who else loved it? A lot? Stephen King.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Stephen King was a huge proprietor of trying to get this shit out. He was one of the main reasons why this got any sort of love amongst anybody. Because Stephen King was Stephen King still in the 80s. Like, he still had a lot of influence. He wasn't.
And a lot of cocaine.
Yes.
This is cocaine Stephen King.
Did you ever hear the story that he
doing
bought the
both.
van that hit him just so he could like destroy it?
Doing blow, writing books, watching Evil Dead.
Dude, he can't remember like pretty much most of like the 80s or some shit. And then he can't remember most of the 90s because it was booze.
That has been on record.
It's like, yeah, the 80s I don't remember because of coke. The 90s I don't remember because of booze. And I think it was the 70s was because of pain pills from
Viagra.
yes. And I think Carrie Fisher can't remember most of the 70s too because
Viagra.
Oh, I think there's another reason why Carrie Fisher can't remember most of the 70s.
also drugs.
Yeah.
Well, there's another reason why
Yeah, she
Carrie
was
Fisher
having a
can't remember most of the 70s.
There's a lot of reasons why a lot of people don't remember a lot of
Mainly
things.
she's dead.
I knew where you were going. I just didn't want to.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
You know, she had an affair with Harrison Ford for a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Look at
Also,
that man.
Did you see their on-stream chemistry? It was so good.
Look at that man in the 70s. Come on.
yeah. Apparently, Jean-Claude Van Damme slept with the chick who played Chun-Li in Street Fighter. Well, because here's the thing. When they weren't filming Street Fighter, everybody except for the guy playing M. Bison were in Thailand basically just wasting the rest of the film's budget getting fucked up constantly. Like, when they weren't filming, they were completely off their gourd And they would still come in doing shooting fucked up and shit too. Even the director and shit came in fucked up.
Did you know that all like 13 to 15 people that were involved on cast and crew of The Evil Dead slept in the same cabin in Tennessee for the like 40 days it took to 12 weeks it took to shoot?
I could see that. Makes sense. I mean, save budget.
There was times where it was frozen over. They moved to Tennessee because they were thinking, okay, Michigan, winter, cold, bad. Tennessee, south, winter, warmer. Nope. It was on record the coldest winter in Tennessee for like hundreds of, for like decades.
That's just Mother
And
Nature
the
will fuck you.
warmest in Michigan for decades.
That's Mother Nature literally just going, fuck you.
Yeah. There was so much issue with all of the filming process.
Holy
As
shit,
stated with the
that's-
gallons and gallons of blood, there were people who needed to warm up the fucking blood in order to remove it, because once corn syrup gets cold,
Oh, it's almost impossible to fucking move.
it's glue.
It just, nope.
Yeah, it's basically just glue.
That and molasses.
Yeah.
Molasses is a pain in the balls.
So, filming was horrible.
Horrible.
Horrific.
You know what I just... Oh, wait. No, I already put that in the group chat. Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, Trevor Moore was almost Broly in Team 4-Star. And then it was also... It was either Trevor Moore, the guy who played him, or Markiplier. Yeah, those were the three options.
What's your power level?
What's your power level?
Mine's pretty high.
How
What's
do you-
that? I can't hear you from down there.
How do you feel about the boo bits that they've been putting
I
out?
like them.
Dude, I liked them.
I like them.
They're all done. How do you mean they've been putting them out? They're all done.
Every week they keep throwing a new one out.
No, the whole compilation's out as a whole now.
Yeah.
It's like 33 minutes.
No, they've added more to it because I've seen the compilation.
They've been adding like the deleted and extra
Yeah.
scenes or like kind of mistakes and stuff, but yeah, the actual like episode itself is fully out though. I enjoyed it.
My thing, I just feel like I wish I did like just in the fucking episode.
Yeah, just if you're gonna jerk us off a little, at least let us finish.
I mean, I think the problem was they couldn't have just fit it into like one episode the whole arc. They would have had to have either kind of done it as they did it, or they would have had to do like at least a 3-episode mini thing. There's no way you could have fit that whole thing into like one 30-minute episode like that.
No.
No, but I don't know.
No.
Like I said, I liked it. I just wish it was.
There needed to
Wait,
be a little
so
bit
you're
more.
telling me you're the super powerful alien who can fly and dodge basically anything?
It flies into his face.
No reason.
He just lets her land crotch first in his face. Fucking Chad.
Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba.
Bye. The great Sandman.
So,
We love you.
Evil Dead 2.
Hail Satan.
Evil Dead 2.
Sorry.
Again, they have. So, with the Evil Dead 1, Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, Rap Tippett, and like one other person, I think it's his brother, Ted Raimi, I think is what I said earlier.
Yes, I think.
They
There's
end up,
Ivan, Ted, and Sam.
yeah, they end up going back to Tennessee to do reshoots and voiceovers and things like this after everybody else had left because they want to get it perfect.
Boy,
It's not his first feature film. It's just his first big feature film.
What a cunt.
And then, oh, Sam Raimi?
No, the guy revving his engine off screen there.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry.
And then they do something similar with, again, I think it's Kansas or Kentucky. It's a K-state, I'm pretty sure, for Evil Dead 2.
And
They
don't
end
tell
up-
me the weather's just as shit.
No.
Oh, thank God.
They end up cutting and using parts of Evil Dead 1 for the recap of Evil Dead 2, but they also end up refilming parts of the recap from Evil Dead 1 in the scene from Evil Dead 2 because they want to.
And this is why
and
people
with
get
this-
confused with them.
What?
And that's why people get confused with them.
And with Evil Dead 2 as well, Ash is like actively trying to fight the Deadites and not just survive type of shit. With this, they hire him a personal trainer to monitor his food and workouts so that during the filming of Evil Dead 2, he can actually actively look buffer and more protagonistic throughout the course of the movie.
Why not just give him an ice bath and a beer?
Okay, Joe Rogan, calm down.
That's actually saying,
That's our Joe Rogan shout out.
fight us. Or Jackson.
Fight me, Joe Rogan. Fight me, Andrew Tate. I don't give a fuck.
Elon Musk, duel me.
That one's what he wants. But you've seen
I want a
Army of
duel.
Darkness, right?
Army of Darkness, of course.
Let's talk a little bit about Army of Darkness, because we Evil Dead 1 and 2, as stated, are relatively similar. Evil Dead 2 leaves off a little bleak and a little open-ended, leading into Medieval Dead, or Army of Darkness, which, again, they should have fucking went with Medieval Dead. Thanks, Universal.
I mean, Army of Darkness isn't a bad name either.
Ivan something. That's the guy who was like the big promoter and big big producer to help try and get it through like Universal and Warner Brothers and Century and New Line for production and distribution, really, for Evil Dead 1 and 2. That's where it came from. He was the guy that basically was like, hey, take a look at Evil Dead 2.
No,
Because they were doing promos, Evil Dead 2, Ash vs. Army of Darkness. They had them back in time. They wanted Evil Dead 2 to be Army of Darkness, basically. But Army of Darkness, obviously, for obvious reasons, obviously. Now, movie 3 and Evil Dead 2, they didn't have the budget for it.
So,
They didn't have the budget for...
why does everything involved in these movies sound kind of like a bit of a clusterfuck behind the scenes?
Have you been in any low-budget movie ever?
No.
Okay, well, turns out everything's a clusterfuck and low budget.
I mean, this isn't a clusterfuck.
Meh.
We just kind of dick around and have fun.
Meh.
I still think we should go with some of my fun ideas, but, you know, we'll get there when we get there.
So, Army of Darkness.
Well, all right. So the second one ends. He gets thrown in the portal, right?
Portal.
Yes, and also no. Like, it's kind of open-ended.
Well, I thought he got sucked into the portal.
I think he's like,
That and the car got sucked into.
yeah.
You
That's
mean
how he has the car in the Army of
Well, yes. I know that's how he has the
And
car
his boomstick.
and his boomstick.
and the boomstick and the chainsaw.
He'll skin your ass raw. Took him a second. Did you accidentally your car?
That's not you. You're the one next to it. You're the other one.
Yep, I am the other one.
Could you imagine it was one of us though somehow making it like?
Army of Darkness.
Anyway, so he's got the chainsaw. He's got the car.
Dude, did you know about the mini ashes in the Army of Darkness?
Little miniature ashes.
The little glass. In one scene in Army of Darkness, he stares at a mirror. He's in the graveyard. The mirror breaks, and all the little shatters of glass end up turning into these mini ashes that he has to verse. Like, 3 of them are Bruce Campbell playing himself, but miniaturized. And then the rest of them are dudes with prosthetics to look like Bruce Campbell.
I can see that.
It's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Go ahead. Seems like you want to talk.
I'm trying to remember some of the parts of it.
When he makes the armor hand for himself, that's pretty neat. I wonder if that ended up inspiring Guts from Berserk.
I think Berserk came out first with that.
What?
I think Berserk came out before
Dude,
that.
how fucking old is Berserk?
Because Evil Dead Army of Darkness came out
93, I think.
92.
And Berserk is kind of old.
When did Berserk come out?
Berserk's pretty old, man.
I know it's old.
So he ends up getting sucked into the portal. He gets brought back to like medieval times. 1300 AD is what they claim. England. What's up?
England in the desert.
1989?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Meets the King Henry.
He meets King Arthur, and they're fighting with King Henry because of the Deadites. Each of them are blaming each other. King Henry gets captured along with his men,
Not King Henry's men.
and Ash gets captured with them, claiming that he's part of Henry's men. There's a pit with Deadites. They throw a dude into the pit. Large geyser of blood.
I remember that. And they
Ash
throw-
gets pushed into it by Sheila, who ends up being the lover interest. Sure.
Hey.
This one we're going to go a little bit more in depth in because it's not
Every
just
good
like
romance starts with attempted murder.
this one we're going to go a little bit more in depth with because it's not just dude versus zombie in cabin. Bad shit go on. This one's a little bit more like an actual
And horticultural assault, apparently.
yeah. This one we're allowed to say a little bit more about, you know.
There's more going on. Yeah.
Horticultural assault, that's a good one.
Again, not just survive evil shit.
And then in the
Then after pit,
pit,
he gets pushed in. He fights some deadites
he gets
in
his
pit. He
chainsaw back.
Yes, he gets the chainsaw back, and then when he gets out of the pit, he gets his boomstick because one of the deadites climbs up the chain to get out of the pit, and he shoots it. King
He gives this
Arthur,
little speech.
yep, gives a little speech. King Arthur and King Henry hasn't been gotten rid of. King Arthur, he starts to like not mac on, but like
Force himself.
yeah, he starts to be like, yo, bro,
Horticulturally assault.
no. He starts to be like, yo, you's a little bitch. I'm the guy now. Which
Look at me.
Army of Darkness, we end
I'm
up getting
Captain.
Hail to the King, as stated. They like very much Elvis Presley the fuck out of Bruce Campbell on this. There's a wise man. The wise man is like, yo, dude, I think he's the promised one. He starts going back with King Arthur and is like, yo.
Chosen one.
Yeah, they're like, yo, he's the chosen one, I'm pretty sure.
He's coming.
He is coming. Pretty
Chosen
sure.
one?
He ends up fighting with Sheila a little bit in their room. He's like, give me some sugar because they somehow have a connection. So she hooks up with him just a little bit. He leaves to go on the quest because he's the only motherfucker who can get the Necronomicon.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
They give him very important words to say when he picks up the Necronomicon.
Not
Does
sponsored.
Does anyone know the very important words that he's supposed to say?
Reference to the reference
What the
counter.
fuck's the words? Something.
Make like a high, make
No,
a hiney ho.
no.
Clot to.
To the
Kletu barada dictu.
That one.
That's from fucking the day the earth stood still.
Yes.
Kletu barada nictu? That's
Clot
what you
to Varata.
Yeah.
I mostly said it. I got the syllables there. That's
Yeah.
what.
That's what you say to shut down Gort and fucking.
Yep. So
Oh wow, okay.
they journey to the
That's a
center of the
reference.
earth with it as
That's
a reference to the reference.
Oh my god, hey. We worked that in.
The wise man's like, repeat it. Okay, good. Repeat it. Okay, good. Repeat it. And he's like, oh, come on, I gotta get back to work. I gotta go. Because he's really all about S-Mart. He is like obsessed with S-Mart at the beginning of this Army of Darkness. And throughout the entire thing, he's like, I gotta get back to work.
I mean, you need a
He-
paycheck.
Yeah. He
Quest-
promos the fuck out of S-Mart like 3 times in England
For,
in
18
1300.
For, it's
Yeah,
where gets
he
his
starts
boomstick.
talking. He starts talking about how he got his boomstick from S-Mart, and he talks about the price. He talks about how you got to shop. You got to shop smart. You got to shop S-Mart. He like
The
goes
model,
all
he talks about the model where he got it, the price of it.
yeah. It's nuts how like addicted to S-Mart this boy is. He is the perfect Amazon employee, but
Does he piss in bottles? That got you to laugh. Okay.
But He ends up starting his journey. He goes through the graveyard because, of course, the wise men know where it is. They know how to get it. They know what to say. They just can't do the quest themselves because
They're old.
reasons.
Yeah, what is... You know how to do the quest. You know what you gotta
Reasons.
do. Why aren't you doing it, motherfucker? You lazy
Reasons.
ass mother... No, you gotta push it onto some other little kid. You're old, you know, why you gotta make it the kid's fault? Fix your generational problems, old man.
This is where we get to the...
Sorry.
This is where we get to the graveyard. The graveyard has the mirror. The mirror has the
tiny
mini
verses.
ashes. One of the mini ashes jumps inside of Ash because they go over his island him and tie him down. That ends up causing a bad Ash.
That movie sucked, by the way.
A bad Ash. Get it? Haha. They get a bad Ash spawning out of good Ash. And then he's like, me bad Ash. You good Ash. Like Tarzan and Jane the motherfucking shit. There is a fantastic little like
he have
London
a weed
Bridges.
Does he have a weed whacker instead of a fucking chainsaw?
No.
He's reverse.
No. So they have a
Oh, that would have been a great visual gag, though.
with the mini ashes. Bruce Campbell says the lines London Bridge is falling down, and one of the mini ashes like stabs him or something, and it's like my fair lady. It's fantastic. He ends up finding the books after he beats Bad Ash, puts a cross there, buries him, and Bad Ash is like, I'll be back at some point after he kills him. So it's a long, drawn-out battle. He goes inside the graveyard, the chapel or something in the graveyard. I don't remember exactly what it is. And there's 3 books drawn out, right? The first one is a portal that starts sucking him in.
He
And
really
he-
gets sucked in these
Yeah.
films.
He gets sucked in, elongates his arms, it elongates his face. He pulls himself out, and his face is all jacked up from it. He goes to the second one, and he's like, and then he goes to the third one. The third one bites his fucking hand, which Sam Raimi was in charge of the puppeting for that.
Oh, he probably
And-
chomped that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, he's like, "Gah!" Because he does a lot of the puppetry. The puppetry in this is awesome, by the way. There's this thing called like intravision work, and it's awesome. Honestly, if you get a chance to like look at this, see the puppetry, see the camera works for any of the Evil Dead series for such a low budget, and for how shoestring, how early on in the 80s it was and 90s, it's nuts. They do fantastic fucking work.
Was it, these weren't the Jim Henson guys?
No.
Different company?
Yes.
Okay. Because Jim Henson's work was always good.
Yeah. So they have like Ted Raimi play a Deadite. They have him play a wise guy. They have him play a cowardly soldier. They have him play a brave soldier. They have Bruce Campbell's dad play a Deadite. Everybody gets involved. This is a family affair.
Everybody
okay?
gets one.
This is a family affair, except
Tell
for
him,
Ted
Peter.
Raimi. Ted Raimi has like 7. He has like 7 fucking roles
Everybody gets one.
in this particular movie.
Interesting.
He gets the correct book. He goes Klaatu Verata and coughs over it in order to cover it up because he forgets what the N is. He knows it's an N. He's like, Nancy? Nebraska? He's like stumbling with it. And shit starts going off because obviously he didn't say the words right. So,
You got the syllables right.
all the syllables were there. Yeah, he basically got it right. He starts his trek back to the castle, King Arthur's place, and Bad Ash is now struck by lightning and resurrected as Evil Ash. Not just Bad Ash, but evil. So, Evil Ash and Bad Ash have to fight a little bit. He ends up killing Bad Ash by like shooting him in the face with a boomstick. That's where the good, bad, I'm the guy with the shotgun line comes from. And that's why in Evil Ash, he covers his face with a helmet, so this way it's not as bad. Which, at some point later on, some silliness happens. But he ends up going back, the Deadites start coming, the chick that he was macking on gets picked up by a winged deadite. She gets taken and converted because, of course, she does. There's 2 days between him getting his between the fight with the Army of Darkness and them being there, right? And him being there, because it's 2 days travel. And so he does a training montage with King Arthur's men because he knows how to. Yeah, because he knows how to do this. He soups up the Pontiac Delta. He fucking melts down a bunch of shit. So this way he has like gunpowder and bullets and things like this. A whole lot goes on. There's just giant epic fucking battle, which.
Excuse you.
Yeah. Which again, fucking Sam Raimi must hate Bruce Campbell. Because.
But I thought they were friends.
Yes. But there is so much fucking shit that happens to Bruce Campbell with like getting poked in the face, getting slapped by people, getting punched in the guts, all sorts of fucking stupid shit. Again, the chest cutting open thing with the armor, all sorts of stupid shit happened to this man. I could not tell you why they're still friends. And then the showdown between Evil Ash and Regular Ash is about to happen, but Sheila, that's her name.
You've been saying that.
Yep. Ends up stopping it a little bit, preempting it, and is like, oh, you loved me once before. Why don't you love me now? And he's like, you got ugly.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, honey, you got ugly. Or some stupid shit like
yeah,
that.
because she turned into like a witch or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. And then he kills the evil Ash. There's 2 different endings. I'll talk about one and then the other.
Wait.
There's 2 different endings. It's an alternate ending that was theatrical and then actually like released and put out in more
Clue
theaters.
on us?
Yep.
Yeah, interesting. For those of you who get that reference.
And in the first one, the wise man creates the potion, tells him, hey, all you got to say is Klaatu Vatu Nirkthos, right? You know, the fucking Day the Earth Stood Still line.
Reference.
And he's like, repeat it after me, man. You fucked it up once before. It's like, I got this. I got to get back to work.
Once again.
Because he cares about work. He's a very dedicated worker. That man deserves a promotion. And with this, he ends up fucking it up, right? One ending, the theatrical ending, has him he goes to a cave, drinks the potion, says it, fucks up, drinks the potion, and rocks start crumbling around him in the cave. He wakes up and he overshoots it, and he's like, I overslept. And it's very fucking bleak. Like, pure on apocalypse, he's the last man alive type shit. There's a thing of Big Ben, I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen it. I've heard it's on YouTube that you can find it. That's how I even know it exists, because I was doing research with, shout out to Podmortium, not sponsored, but just cool people, and that's where I got a lot of the Army of Darkness reference from. Check them out. They're on Spotify. We're not.
Should work on that eventually.
Do you want to do it?
No.
Okay. And then the other one, the one that most people know, is he ends up going back to S-Mart, and he gets attacked by a woman, a Deadite. And, you know, basically leading up to another potential, like, sequel type shit.
Yeah, he goes back to that's when he's telling the story to.
Yeah, and the worker is like, oh, neat, cool, whatever, bye. And then one chick is like, oh, I thought your story was pretty cute.
Did you say the right words?
Woman fucking, yeah, did you say the right words this time? And then fucking woman Deadite. And he just like shoves her aside to fight the fucking Deadite. He's like, moo, bitch!
Get out the way.
Yeah. And it's just so shenanigans.
Hey, what's that restaurant you like with all the shit all over the walls?
I love that movie.
Sorry, reference.
I love that movie.
What's it a reference to, Johnny?
Super Troopers.
There we go. What is it? Lizard Island or something like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Lonely Lizard or
Lizard
no,
something.
Broken Lizard.
Broken
Broken
Lizard,
Lizard. Yeah, Broken Lizard. Yeah.
Check
They
them
have-
out. They're fun people.
We should do an episode on that because they have a whole thing going. They have like a.
It's Spoopy Month.
Well, they
they
did
do
that.
have a
Spoopy. They did the
Slasher movie.
The movie on the island. Yeah.
Club Dread or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Broken Lizard's Club Dread. Yep, that's.
That was alright. I'll be honest.
It was okay. Yeah. Super
So-
Troopers was probably their best.
Yes, and Beer Fest.
Yeah, beer. I'm
So that is how-
Shame we never got Weed Fest.
That is how Army of Darkness ends. And then 2013, it gets remade by people, not Sam Raimi, produced by, and it's like full on horror, but it pays a lot of homage to the original Evil Dead, which is a horror movie. And
Just not as horror.
yeah. And then again, 2023, not Sam Raimi, executive produced by Sam Raimi. Bruce Campbell makes an appearance. Bruce Campbell makes an appearance in 2013's Evil Dead. Again, it's supposed to be very horror. I've heard good things. I have not gotten a chance to check it out. Unfortunately, we have failed you as hosts of tonight's podcast.
We'll tase Gerard for it.
We will tase a small child about it. We won't tase him hard.
Just a little zap.
Just a little quickie.
Make him bow and say they're sorry and then zap him.
Then
That was originally one of my ideas.
2015's Ash vs. Evil Dead. It was on Netflix for a long time. It was a sci-fi thing at first, I believe.
Stars.
Yeah, it was on sci-fi.
It was Stars first?
Yeah, Stars
Okay.
first, yeah.
Yeah, because I watched
'Cause
the
it
first
opens
two
with them
seasons.
fucking a
I
chick.
remember it being on Stars.
Yeah, okay. And then it gets onto Netflix. And it's basically just a continuation of Army of Darkness.
Yeah, but like years later.
Yeah. Because Bruce Campbell ages.
Yeah.
Obviously. But he aged like fine wine.
He is probably my favorite B-movie actor. He's up there, at least. I have to say that.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
And he's so consistent with his B-movies.
Nicolas Cage.
I wouldn't say that he's a B-movie actor
Oh, he's
all
an
the
A-list
time.
actor, but he does B movies for shits and giggles.
Yeah. Well, he has to pay off that T-Rex skull somehow.
He he got into a
Not
lot.
the bees! Not the bees!
There's like 4 or 5 celebrities that got fucked over by the IRS. Him, Wesley Snipes. Although Wesley Snipes did some jail time for it.
He did
Nicolas
it to
Cage
himself.
Did not.
He did it to himself.
Oh, they all did it to themselves.
Nick Cage bought a lot of things and was like, you can't actually buy this. Thanks for the money, but you can't actually buy this. Like, he had to give back the fucking T-Rex skull. He wasn't allowed to keep it.
I think he owned some King Cobras.
Yeah. All sorts of silly fucking nonsense that he just loves buying.
His movies are great though.
I still have to see
Not
that
the
one.
bees!
Which one?
I have to see the one that came out like 2 years ago.
Which one that came out 2 years
A
ago?
few
one-
of those, man.
The one with
Pedro Pascal.
that one.
Oh,
That was last year.
I haven't seen that
that's a
one.
good one.
That's a good one.
We saw that and
Incredible Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah, we saw that in the Northman the same night.
Yeah.
Both are
movie.
good.
Good movies. I was expecting something different with Northman. We'll talk about that at some point.
It
How would you rate The Evil Dead as a franchise in terms of horror movies? If you
terms
had
of
to give it a rating
horror?
out of 10.
out of 10 is horror movies as a total?
Franchise.
Franchise are not individual movies.
Individual movies we'll do afterwards. I want to know what you rate them as a
I can't.
franchise. Because this has to include the comedy Army of Darkness as a horror franchise.
Taking out the wacky ones.
Nope, you
Well,
can't.
no, I'm just saying, barring them, but they're still part of it. Because there are certain scenes in like the 2013 one that are actually horrifying.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The woman cutting her fucking face off. Or there's certain parts in the first one that are actually scary.
Or just brutally uncomfortable in the second one.
If I had to give it I would probably go with 7.
7 out of 10, including the funny ones.
Yeah.
I was
As a
thinking like
horror?
7.2. Yeah.
I would say, including and calculating the fact that there's funny ones and funny scenes in number 2. So funny. For a horror franchise, because we have to include as well the TV.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that one.
It counts, man. I think that for horror,
I would.
it's probably like a 6.5.
All right.
But as a overall franchise, in terms of quality, I'd give it probably like an 8. I think if we were to talk
Over
about
franchise, 7.5.
yeah, I think when we break it down into individual movies and individual things, when we're going to, we can dilute a little bit more.
All right.
But I think
Is
for
that also counting like the comics
horror-
and shit too?
sure, I haven't read any of them, so I can't comment.
The only comic one I read was parts of
Freddy versus Jason versus Ash,
that one, and then the Evil Dead versus
Marvel Zombies, yeah. So, your highest rated Evil Dead film and your lowest rated Evil Dead film.
All right. Gonna have to go with the first one.
Evil
For
Dead
highest?
1 for
Yeah,
highest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't want to put the third because the third one makes me laugh really well.
Yeah, here's the problem. Like each,
It doesn't have to be for horror.
Yeah.
I'm talking about film at this point. It's not
You know
just a
what's
horror
weird
film.
when
It's
you
just
think about it.
I guess
Film.
I could technically put the new one down because I haven't seen it.
nope.
I can't.
You can't rate something that you haven't seen. That's not fair.
I can't rate them
Fine.
anyway at all then because I haven't seen every one of them in full yet.
You've seen enough of them, right?
Yeah, that and cultural osmosis
See, there you go.
Yeah, I can put the second one down.
as the weakest.
Yeah.
The second as the weakest.
Because the third one, it makes up for it, even though it's not horror. it
It's
makes
Mel
up-
Brooks.
It just makes up so much comedy.
Yeah. It,
And then the third one, that's straight horror.
the fourth one, the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good horror movie. I would put that one personally as my lowest.
Fair enough.
And I would put number 2
The reason
as
why
my
I'm
highest.
putting number 2 as my lowest is I don't quite remember the second one as much as I remember
You know what's
the other
weird
ones.
now that I think about it? Evil Dead is one of the few horror franchises that every entry seems to be relatively consistently good.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of franchises where there's good ones, and then there's some shit ones, and there's some mediocre ones. Like, but I think it's because they haven't gone like more than like there's like the
There's
3
5
main
films.
movies. Yeah, there's like, and 2 of them are technically redos, which, I mean, kinda.
Depends on how you want to call it redo.
Yeah, but I mean,
Because you could argue that number 2 is almost a redo of number
Yeah,
1.
because they kind of
because I mean, when you look at like
It's
shit,
an
like,
almost similar. It is like an almost shot for shot story.
yeah.
because I mean, when you look at like Nightmare on Elm Street, there's like fucking 7 or 8 films in that plus, or like same thing with like fucking Friday the 13th, Halloween. Like a lot of those franchises get like a lot of films, so they just even Hellraiser too. Like there's like 8 Hellraiser films, and 3 of them weren't even supposed to be Hellraiser films to begin with. They just tacked in fucking Pinhead and shit.
Now, I do want to say, when it comes to my ratings, it's like a 9.2 for the highest, and like an 8.4 for the lowest. They're all highly rated.
Yeah.
It's not just like, all right, well, we have a 3 here and a fucking 10 up here. No, they're all good. You
Yeah,
should
like
check
I
this
said.
out. It's not much disparity.
Like, what other like legit franchises really are that solid? Like overall, like the Lord of the Rings, but even then, I don't know if that counts because The Hobbit now.
See,
mean, like-
I'm an outliner with that. I like The Hobbit.
The first,
Sure, the first one was good.
if you want to
I
be
like
technical,
Desolation of
I'm-
Smog was okay.
In
And
my-
then, I don't want to talk about the third.
we're being
I'll give you the
brutal-
third one. I
for
really
being
like the
brutally
third one.
honest, the first 6 Star Wars films.
I would say that you could argue the first 3, the prequel trilogy, wasn't great.
But they
No,
were,
definitely not.
but they were okay.
They
I
were okay.
like-
There was a noticeable drop, though.
You know what? But considering when you went back and watched them as a kid, they were entertaining and fun to watch as
Like,
kids.
I
You
have-
can't
And
go
that's
back.
who they're for.
You can't go back and watch them as kids because we're adults now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But I have my list with Star Wars. Like I have it broken. I know which one's my favorite. And I would know which one's my least between
well,
the
yeah,
first
everybody
originals.
does that. Anybody who knows
You mean the
Star Wars.
originals?
Yeah. So like
And the prequels?
prequels, the George Lucas ones. So it would go Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, and then Attack of the Clones.
Phantom Menace was a good film. It just needed to cut some fat. That was probably its biggest sin.
Yeah, that's why it's not high, but it's not low.
That and they
the Attack of the Clones for me was all politics that kind of
Attack
dragged
of the
the
Clones
fucking
was-
movie down.
Was that the one where they tried to kill Pad Amidala, but they give it like 3 different subcontract? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
And
gives
she's
it
in
guy-
an arena.
A guy
gets-
orders a guy to kill the senator. He orders a guy to kill the senator. He orders a shapeshifter to kill the senator. The shapeshifter gets a robot to kill the senator. The robot gets bugs to kill the senator.
That's some fucking chain of command shit.
Yeah, but don't worry. The Attack of the Clones TV series was pretty good.
Somehow
No,
fucking
yeah, Clone
midriff
Wars.
gets
Like-
shown. Wait. Are we talking about the Genndy Tartakovsky one or the one that also came out later?
Well, there was Clone Wars and then Attack of the Clones. Two different.
Or I thought you were talking about.
No, they were both called. So like the TV shows, they were both called the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Were they? I thought that there was.
There's 2
So
Clone
there's-
Wars.
Okay.
The first one was Genndy Tartakovsky, and that was
Which
meant to
was-
bridge the 2 movies.
The sequel.
And then there was a
second and third
CGI one that came out, which was
Which is-
actually fairly solid.
Yeah, it just my problem with the CGI one is it starts off kind of,
So many fucking war crimes.
but
Right now.
This
Later
is not our
on
Star
in-
Wars episode.
yeah, it's not. But
What's your favorite war crime committed by in Star Wars?
Hey,
They commit so
No.
many, though.
we're not doing this right now.
Sorry. We'll come back to that later.
We'll talk about that during our Star Wars episode.
This
This
war
is our Evil
crimes
Dead
of-
episode.
The war crimes of Star Wars, a whole subsection.
This is our Evil Dead
but to
episode.
answer your thing with other things that hold up,
Franchises that do it.
I would argue that even though I haven't seen the newest one, everyone tells me it's great. John Wick. I really like the first 3. They all held up. There was only one part in the third one that I was like, all right.
I'm sorry. By the third one, my suspension of disbelief was a little.
There's only so much Keanu being John Wick I could see.
I mean,
Alright.
they're good films. Don't get me wrong.
They are good films
The problem is the franchise fatigue was really fucking quick.
because they pump those shits out once they realized what type of hit
Alright.
they had.
Eh.
They pump that shit out.
But again,
I'd
outliers.
almost want to say Fast and Furious in a way.
No,
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 no.
no. You watch the first 3 and you're done.
I don't even like the third one.
I heard,
Well, I mean, some people do. I'm saying that's where you stop
I heard
if you
6
like
and 7
that
were
shit.
pretty good.
All right, so with those, I was on and off again.
No, I'm just,
Look, we're
I
gonna
was
get
just teasing
shot out.
with that
We're gonna
anyway.
get fucking shot by fucking Vin Diesel.
You're not family.
I would say Guardians of the Galaxy has been solid on all 3 films.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. Trilogy, good trilogy. Even the second, it didn't end on a pretty shitty note, like a lot of trilogies do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not saying it's the best, but it was a solid trilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I haven't seen the third one, but
You know what? I think everything before Phase 4 Marvel was pretty much or Marvel
No.
Phase 4 and back.
No. Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2 and 3 were not great.
yeah.
I'm trying to think, like what franchise?
Other than that, they had like a bunch of hits.
Like, what
But-
franchise was consistently relatively good across all of its entries? Like, holy shit, like, Evil Dead's one of the few outliers. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's hard.
Oh my god,
Godfather?
is that the guy who looks like you but leveled up?
Godfather's fucking. Godfather's out there, except for
He looks like a pokey evolution of Charlie.
part 3. But we don't talk about that because Sophia Coppola.
He sees it too. He's just bigger, buffer, and has longer hair and beard. I'm sorry.
Rocky was pretty good on all of them.
What about
I said pretty good.
I think there's the 5th film that nobody remembers.
That doesn't exist.
Because there's like the first...
Rocky 4 was pushing it.
Wait, no, because there's the first one where he fights...
Oh my god. It's like a punch
Apollo.
steel.
The second one where he fights Apollo again.
The third one where Apollo fights Ivan.
No, what's the one where he fights
The third
Mr.
one's
T?
Mr. T.
Right, yeah.
The
The
fourth
fourth
one
one's
is Ivan
Ivan. That's the
Drago.
one where I kind of.
The
that's
5th
like
one was the one where he had
pushing
the
it for
brain
me.
damage and was supposed to die.
Yeah.
The 6th one was the one where he
Where
comes
he's
back and-
Rocky.
where he has the talk with Milo Vintovay or
Yeah.
whatever.
Hey, yeah,
And then there's the,
head.
Then there's the Creed movies now.
Yeah, which I will say is good. The Creed movies are good.
So I think if you don't count the 5th Rocky movie, I guess that one kind of counts.
Yeah, 4 is kind of pushing it.
He almost died making that one because Ivan Drago put him in the fucking hospital.
Dolph Lundgren.
He's like, hit me for real, and he punches him and almost busts his liver or some shit.
Beep.
Yeah.
Beep.
Mr. T was also actually a really brutal fighter back in the day, apparently too. That's how he got all of his. No, that's how he got all his bling. Because
trying to think.
He was a bouncer, and he would take the bling off people whose ass he'd kick.
Trying to think, man.
Wow, I think I actually just stumped us with a legit question here. Anybody in the comments?
Tell
Yeah,
us.
comments. Like, share, subscribe. 500 people.
Yeah, 500
Pornhub.
people, Vanna White.
If I don't go into the whole entirety of a character for movies, because there's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Sauce.
No, I was gonna say Batman,
Batman does not count.
because
There's too many.
the Dark Knight series. Holds
No,
up.
Dark Knight 3.
Wait. Because technically
I
there's
like that
different
one.
franchise. Those are all technically different franchises.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
So
different
if I
directors,
just
different
take
producers,
Dark
different-
Knight, the Dark Knight 1, 2, and 3,
Because, like, you can
because
even...
those are all Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, the Nolan versus Batman is okay. I think that it fell off pretty drastically for number 3.
I'm not big on the Tim Burton films, but everybody seems to like those two.
Yeah.
Although, I guess that one doesn't count because technically the Schumacher films are supposed to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Apparently the Schumacher films are supposed to be the same universe. Although some people argue that the Schumacher films are supposed to be a representation of the 60s TV series.
I don't know. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
I honestly think that because what Schumacher was doing for those two films was trying to play into what the 60s TV series was. And
He was trying to sell toys.
That too.
I love it.
What fucking franchise isn't trying to sell toys eventually? RoboCop made shit for kids eventually. And if you see
RoboCop has
RoboCop,
a video game coming out too.
I love it, and I won't say Jurassic Park has been good on the franchise.
you've dragged me to the theater a couple times now for it.
Yes.
We saw that, what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. I love it. It is my favorite movie. And I won't say that Jurassic Park is a good franchise through all of its movies. Jurassic Park 2, okay. Jurassic Park 3, it's a movie. Jurassic World, okay, good. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, it's a movie.
Jurassic World
Dominion.
Dominion. I fucked that up a lot.
Okay. The Minion franchise. There we go. That's it. The Shrek franchise. There we go. That's it.
No, because you got Shrek 4.
Puss in Boots. There we go. That's it.
Let's see.
All 2 movies. No, the first one was ass. You know what they need to do a second one of? Megamind.
How
They
about Mission
do
Impossible?
a lot. Megamind had probably one of my favorite DreamWorks movies.
What about the Mission Impossible films? I've heard
Never
No.
seen a single Mission Impossible. So
I've
I
heard
don't
most of them
know.
pretty consistent.
Yeah, I've never seen a single Mission Impossible.
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll
that was a
give you
pretty
that one.
solid one.
I
A
can
good chunk
watch
of the
them.
James Bond films.
The Sean Connery ones.
Yeah, the Connery for James Bond films. The
I've
Daniel Craig
never
Bond
seen-
films.
I've only seen one James Bond, so
Yeah.
no.
All right,
think-
we figured it out.
We got
You
some
either
answers.
have to be a spy or Evil Dead, and you're a good franchise. Figure out the entire thing.
Or
Relatively.
a comedy spy.
We just said that with
Spy.
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this eventually again.
Yeah, well, no. I think
I'm sure this topic will come up again.
Yep. But
I mean, you can do the same thing with video games too, and have a whole fucking crazy discussion there.
Speaking of video games, there's like 7 of them.
For
The
Evil
most,
Dead?
yeah, the most recent one was like 2018 or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's
no,
right.
the most
Wasn't it?
recent one was like 2 years ago. A year
Was it
ago.
really?
A year ago.
Okay, so I want you to understand that to me, 2018 is like 2 years ago.
He's not wrong.
But yeah, the most recent one.
Evil Dead the game in 2022
Yeah, that one.
came out for PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox Series X and S,
Is it
and
like-
Xbox One.
Is it like the Friday the 13th one, or is it like different?
All right, so
Well, it started with 1984's The Evil Dead, Commodore 64, and ZX Spectrum.
Hey, Commodore 64.
By the way, Bruce Campbell voices all of Ash's roles on all of these.
Wait, how did he do one in the Commodore 64? That wouldn't have had voice bits in it yet.
the ones that have voice, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil Dead, Hail to the King in 2000. Evil Dead, A Fistful of Boomstick. Great name.
That is a good
2003.
name. I
Evil
remember
Dead
seeing the cover
Pinball.
art for that too.
Evil Dead Regeneration, 2005. Army of Darkness Defense for the iOS and Android.
I've played that.
Evil Dead the Game for iOS, 2011.
I just
Evil Dead Endless Nightmare for iOS and Android, 2016.
want to say
And Evil Dead Virtual Nightmare for Oculus Go. Meta nonsense.
I just want to say what franchise hasn't gotten a pinball machine, or what in general hasn't gotten a pinball machine.
Yo, pinball is big.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played
Pinball
that
is
silver ball.
Pinball is fucking big. I want to talk about pinball on an episode.
I haven't heard that song in forever. Now that I think about it,
I want to talk about it on an episode. It's big,
But-
like
Never-
big.
and they
Alright,
made
so
a whole
I've only
movie
ever
about it
played
a few
one-
times.
Army of Evil Dead game, and that was the iOS one.
You use iPhone?
Yeah.
Gross. Android superiority.
Uh,
I don't give a shit.
I'll be
Do you?
honest. A brick is better than this phone at this point. This is a 7.
That no wonder it's fucking shit. It's old as hell. Planned obsolescence, my bro.
Listen,
The
it
thing's on the
works, all right?
obsolescence of obsolesence.
I don't care. But
My
This
man's
thing's
got a point.
technically out of date. He's not wrong, but still. Hey, do you not play Pokemon Go?
no,
I have to, but I don't mind it.
Jesus.
Hey, it's amusing every now and,
and there is a little thing in it.
What are you looking forward to with Evil Dead in the franchise? More Sam Raimi or more of like the reboots? Because the guy who did the reboot wants to do more of them.
I mean, both would be fine.
Both
'cause
would
the
be
guys
fine.
who's doing the reboots.
My thing is I have no problem if they make it more horror-ish. I do personally like it more when it is a little bit more comedic, though.
A little more slapstick.
Yeah,
slappy slap.
Slapstick.
like that was the thing when I was watching the 2013 one, or when that one when it came out. Like
Yeah.
it was just horror.
Pure horror. Which, again,
Kind of gross.
The Evil Dead, the 1981 one, was just horror.
Yeah,
Which is fine. Like, that's fine. That's what you're there for. And then it was horror with some comedy.
yeah,
And then some comedy with some horror.
yeah.
With Army of Darkness.
But either one would be fine. If they, work more together and say, hey, why don't we do this and that, I'd be fine with it also.
Okay. And you down at the end? Same question.
What am I looking forward to?
Yeah, more Sam Raimi Evil Dead or more of what we got with like Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise?
I mean, it depends. 'cause
More
is-
straight.
Is Sam Raimi going to go back to more horror-y roots, or is he going to go back to comedy roots?
Well, look at what he did with Ash vs. Evil Dead, because that was Sam Raimi, and it was comedies
I mean,
with horror.
He also did I mean,
Darkman.
I was going to say he kind of did have some slight horror elements in the new Multiverse Madness movie.
Oh yeah, you could 100% tell Sam Raimi directs a movie by the fucking horror.
Like zombie Doctor Strange was a pretty interesting moment.
The third eyed Strange was like,
Yeah, that made no sense. No, I'm talking about when he becomes a zombie to like. That was kind of neat. That was an interesting The spirit cape was a little silly, but I guess
There's all sorts of silliness in that movie.
but it was still decent. Hey, there was
I've never seen it, so I'm
there was Scarlet Witch's feet.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the
Well,
new
now you want to.
not Star Wars, the new Phase 4 Marvel.
Honestly, you know what?
Some of it's
Shang-Chi
good,
was
some
pretty
of it's
fucking
not.
solid.
The only one I saw was Shang-Chi.
That was pretty good. I
Shang-Chi.
liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess
and
what?
then-
It is a Marvel Origins film.
I mean, it
You
had
see in one, you see in like all of them.
it had the Shishi lions in it, so it's instantly like 10 out of 10 for me. Those were giant, massive, maned good boys.
I don't know. I think I kind of want to see more Sam Raimi.
Plus, whatever the fuck Boris was.
Sure.
I think I want to see
Norse?
more Sam Raimi.
You know, the little...
He does make good movies.
He makes solid movies.
Yeah, Sam Raimi, by the way.
And his
Sorry.
comedies are comedy.
Like, I feel like he got a little gypped with Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man 1, good. Spider-Man 2, fantastic. Spider-Man 3, got dicked over.
Yeah.
That was a lot of studio interference.
Oh, yeah. Sony was like, hey, you know, it'd be cool. Venom's big right now. But we want to do him for Spider-Man 4. Venom's big right now.
Yeah, they really forced his ass in there. They didn't
Guess
need
I'll
that.
do that right now. Guess I'll do a little bit of Venom right now, guys.
What's your power level?
Power level. Mine's pretty big.
Probably,
Nobody cares.
Probably somebody with a big power level.
I like you. You're smart.
But
Shout out to our DBZ episode, which was basically just covering the history of DBZ Abridged.
Unfortunately, yes.
but what I was going to say
unfortunately.
before was in that iOS game, the Army of Dead Defense.
Yeah.
You know how when he says the words klepto, verata,
Nicto.
yeah, you can fuck it up. It gives you a superpower, like a buff, a big buff.
Yeah.
If you fuck it up or if you get
But if you use it too much, eventually you'll fuck it up. So instead of you'll cough, summon more enemies, or
Oops.
you'll get it and go klepto, verata, necktie, and then you just have a necktie.
Yeah. That was one of the ones that he fucked it up with. Necktie.
necktie.
But I don't know, man. Evil Dead is this great little fucking gem from the 80s and early 90s. And then a couple horror ones that are more recent where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, spoopy.
Spoopy.
If you're looking for a fantastic time with your friends, don't watch Evil Dead 2 because of that weird scene. Watch the other ones. Evil Dead 1 is fantastic for horror. Skip over the scene in Evil Dead 2 that he mentioned earlier.
Horticultural assault.
Yes. And Army of Darkness is just fun. Evil Dead 1, that one is, you know, like, watch it with your girl. She's going to get all spooked. And then you're like, hey, look, I'm you. You know, that type of shit.
Hey, chicks like to make out at horror films.
Same
Where's
thing
that
with,
from?
I don't know. It's from a thing. It's a reference.
Reference to the reference.
It'll come back to me.
Get us to 500 subscribers. Get that man a Vanna White Playboy.
I have it. I just need to review it.
Get that man a Vanna White Playboy review.
And then
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
oh yeah, and the 1,000 now for one night. The Pamela Anderson one. That's right. So they did the Pamela Anderson sex tape. I'll review it. Do the whole thing. I'll
If
even watch
that's
the
something you're
boring
interested
bits.
in, I'm very sorry for your health. Good night, people.
Good night.